Top of the day to ya. No, I'm gonna talk about a piece of work that I just read a few weeks ago by Dr. Tataryn. I actually met this fellow. Brief story: I met him on Integral Life, and he's a Buddhist practitioner, and his daughter also. And I went over and hung out with them in Winnipeg, and he's a professor he's a medical psychology professor at the University of Winnipeg, and Lama Lodro from the Yukon was coming down, and so kind of got connected with them and did a week retreat with the Lama there in Winnipeg. It was quite cool. Nevertheless, he just recently did a paper, and he brought it to Integral I forget, Integral Spiritual Experience or something, one of those big gatherings, presented it there. He's positing in his theory, and I think it connects to some extent to my model, and that's why I wanted to talk about it briefly, is using the different physiological systems of reptilian brainstem, limbic system, and neocortex, which is again deeply ingrained in the Wilberian system, but slightly different. He's arguing that the activation of these particular systems are more or less operative at different stages of development, so that at the kind of red amber stages you have mostly kind of the limbic system activation, but you have downward feedback from the kind of the neocortex, and then when you get into orange and green, you're essentially in the neocortex area, and then when you get into integral stages, you start to reintegrate those different systems. So he kind of argues that beginning with green, there's the beginning reactivation of I think the limbic system. I have to double check that, I guess. And then when you get into integral stages, you're getting deeper and deeper down. So you're integrating. When you get, for example, into coral and Wilber's indigo, you're actually maintaining your rationality, your neocortex, but you're also integrating the reptilian brainstem again, and that's kind of that very much in the moment instinctual nowness that is present in the reptilian brainstem. He does a lot of work with emotions, so he has some really interesting theories on how we have a very poor language of the emotions in which one feels, and so he's trying to do a lot of work in integrating new ways of understanding our emotions from a rational perspective, which is, in his theory, essentially an integral way of looking at emotions. So it's a little different from my theory, because mine's 4 and 4, but there are parallels in that if you look at